Morning, everyone. It's Saturday, December the 11th, 2021 today here in Oklahoma, as I'm sure it is other places in the United States at this moment. I wanted to spend short minutes just to make a brief video to tell what's been happening here in my life for some of those, a few of you out there who actually follow this channel, but also to express my appreciation for all the friends that I've met and become acquainted with, and also my appreciation for those that I have not met yet. And I use that word yet because I would really like to meet every single one of you guys. Uh, a story that I don't know if I've told this before, but as a young Jehovah's Witness growing up, a young boy, I had a dream of what paradise would mean for me. I know other kids my age, they had different ideas, they would meet, hug have a tiger as a pet, or I know even a grown woman, special pioneer sister, she wanted to hug a bear in the New Order. That was her thing, to have a bear as a pet. Mine was a little bit different. Mine was actually my dream was that I would be able to have eternity to get to know people on a one-to-one personal basis. In other words, I could just start walking, even if it's walking by foot, and just go all around the earth. So, might be years before I'd ever get back, but I would remember that person I met in this location or that location, and I know them by their first name, and we'd catch up with what had been happening since we left, since I departed. Anyway, that was my little silly dream. But guess what? That little dream, part of it's kind of come true with the advent of the internet, because here I am. I've made friends all around the world, Australia, and my good friend Rowan there, and many other places across the United States, places that I've never other countries, places I probably never will get to visit, except maybe seeing it on a YouTube screen or on a movie and a TV show, something like I enjoy watching the scenery, things like that. But that's kind of been a plus to having these videos up there, is I've got to meet new people. I know one man up there, Branson, he was from Idaho. Van, he just was brave enough to walk up and say, "Hey, I know who you are. I watch your videos." And so I, got to know his story, and how much we have in common. And I wish, matter of fact, I'm not going to wish. I'm going to say I'm going to go visit him real soon, as well as some of you other people, especially when this pandemic gets over with. Uh, but I hope that you guys will actually write in the comments. I don't need you to write anything about my channel or my video or this video, but write in there and tell me how you've been doing, over the last couple of years during this crisis, this pandemic. I'd like to get to know each of y'all personally. As far as me, I'd like to tell you a little bit what I've been doing. I haven't been doing many videos lately. But I'll tell you this, though. Before the pandemic, actually back in the 1980s, after my mom passed away when I was a young person, uh, she she made me realize that that her death made me realize that life is short and we need to spend time with those we love. So I spent a lot of times vacationing with my family. My three girls, Alicia and Andrea and Miranda, and my wife Cindy. We would go what we would try to do is at least one time every month we would go someplace, even if it was just for a short, 3-day weekend, maybe 4-day weekend. Branson was kind of our favorite place because we could be there, in about an hour if we flew, and it wouldn't be much longer, maybe 4 hours if we drove. So we would go there a lot. As a matter of fact, after we went down to West Texas, we still would visit Branson quite a lot. But the thing is I don't regret that at all. I enjoy every minute. We were branded, though, as pleasure seekers, materialistic, not spending all of our time out in service. We were branded that. As a matter of fact, I remember one of the last conventions I went to. They were having some uh, skits, little plays to show how a proper Jehovah's Witness should use their vacation time. In the first couple or the first families up there, oh, they had all this. They were going to go snorkeling. They was going to go to the beach. They was going to go here in the mountains, hiking, and I mean, travel. It was wonderful. I mean, it sounded really excited. It got me real excited. And then by contrast, they come back and they said, okay, that was how not to be. Here's how we should be. And it was this family up there that said, you know what? Why don't we instead just go serve where the need is greater? Maybe we'll have a Sunday afternoon. We can go to the beach there a little bit. We'll pack our lunch and we'll work out all day long in this territory doing our preaching work. And oh, won't Jehovah be so happy with us? And I can't believe this. I was just my family's right beside me, so I thought I was whispering it. I said, "Man, I want to go. I want to go on vacation with that first couple, that other family." And everybody in our whole section was probably thinking the same thing because when I whispered that, our whole section started laughing, just laughing so loud that the ones on stage kind of stopped a minute, like, what's going on? But anyway, uh, I don't regret my vacations. I don't regret, the money that it spent because I was able to get close with my family. I haven't had that though, the last 2 years to go on these little vacations, and I've gotta be honest with you, it's quite depressing, just to be stay at home and work, work, work. I mean, there's times now that I may not even go to town for, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 weeks, maybe a month, and, that's very depressing. Now I wanna fill you guys in on what my daughters have been doing. They went ahead and got their vaccinations, and they've been getting out a little more. As a matter of fact, yeah, they're on a trip now. They're gonna board a cruising ship, and go on a cruise out of the country, and it's great. I mean, I feel safe. I don't fear for their safety because of the coronavirus, because 'cause they've had their vaccinations. They had to get tested that they're not before they're able to board on the ship. Everybody that boards, every passenger and crew member has to present a vaccine certificate as well as a proof of a certificate, a certificate that they tested negative. And even then, they have to walk around and everywhere they go, they have to, wear their face mask. And so I feel, under that environment, I feel totally safe. Well, they're probably safer there than going down to the local grocery store or Walmart, you see. But it's still something that's been keeping my time here. Then not only working, but I've allowed my annual to lapse on my airplane. That's the annual inspection, and I've just now got a guy lined up to come do that because see, my good friend that had been doing it for over a decade, he passed away, and I really got close to him. He was a special rated mechanic that only a handful of those could do that. And so I've got another friend. He is now retired from the airlines, but he's also a flight instructor as well as a special rated mechanic, IAA, that can give inspections, they call them. So I'm excited to get that done. I'm actually revamping while we're having that inspection done, revamping the interior, putting more soundproofing in, uh, which should make it a lot more enjoyable for flight, a lot quieter. Although we have these really nice active noise reducer, real expensive headsets, so they're nice, but I believe it's going to help to even get the vibrations cut down that's going through our bodies and our bones, and that we're feeling those prop wash, if you want to call it that. And so that's going to help. I believe adding that new upholstery, new carpet, things like of that nature is going to. It's still going to be an old airplane, but it's going to feel new to me because I haven't done anything like that as far as restoring it in well, I've done just mechanical stuff, but nothing cosmetically, so I'm really gonna be proud of that. Uh, so, once that's done, I plan again, like I say, get out and meet some of my friends. Some of you guys out there I've never met. I would love to meet you in person, even meet you even just chatting over a video conference or a telephone call or something. Uh, some of you guys may not really even care for my sense of humor. Some of you guys do. I know I did. Probably been about 4 or 5 years ago. Every year I try to do a April Fool's joke. I guess just enjoy doing those, and some of you get real angry at it. But I remember doing one saying I had the circuit overseer come and realized I was wrong and going to talk to my daughter, and one of the viewers says, "Oh, I couldn't believe it. Before you said his April Fool's joke, I run over to my wife. She'd already went to bed to sleep and woke her up and was telling her, guess what's happened to Randy, you know?" And so now that person, I hope you reach out to me because I think you would be a fun person to be close friends with. And again, I will hope everybody does. And I'm sorry I haven't said anything sooner about some of your comments on here, but there's just so many. When I started out making these videos, my purpose was several reasons, several fold, I guess you could say. But one was to have it there for my grandchildren to see once they grew up, to know the truth, not the truth about the truth, but the truth about their family that they're forbidden to see, that they can't see, just because we left that organization. We did not leave God. And matter of fact, some of our good close friends are no longer believers in God. They're atheists, and that's fine, and they're okay with me still having a belief in God. And that's the kind of friendship that you can have when you're not inside of a cult. And so that was one reason. The other reason I thought, well, I want to help people out there that's not got trapped by this cult. Help them not have the same pain that we've had to feel with our daughter shunning us and her family, her and her husband preventing us from seeing our only grandchildren. And it's not just pain to me; it's pain to my wife, my daughters, my sister, my brother-in-law. Before he passed, I mean, he prayed every day, for Alicia. And she never contacted him or anything. It's so sad. It just breaks my heart. But he was a very good man. I really miss him. But sometimes I get tired of doing this activism and I think, well, I've done enough. I'm going to retire and I'm going to quit doing it. And then, boom, somebody writes back and says, "Oh, no, thank you so much. Don't quit. Thank you for making the videos. I was getting ready to get baptized, and then you started telling me things that had happened, the truthful things. I believe you, and I didn't bite the bullet. I just by this much, this close, and so that makes me happy. But I've got to say, I've slowed down a little bit because now there's not as much reason to do it. There's more people out there doing YouTubes, more people on Facebook and other groups, and that's great. So, not really a need for me. I've also got to say, when I first started, though, I was not only exposing the organization known as Watchtower, but I was exposing my daughter and her husband, and I I had some anger there with them not letting me see my grandchildren, and I don't have that anger. If you've been following my videos, you can see that after about it I think it took about 2 years, I finally opened up in a video and says, "No, look, I still have grief of not seeing my grandchildren, but that the anger that's there, the hurt that's there because of them preventing me, that's not there anymore." And I'm going to say this: I hope that if when my grandchildren find out that they don't hold any animosity toward their parents, because after all, they think they're doing what was right. They think their actions is what God wants them to do, and you can't really, I mean, especially for these kids, I don't want them to get angry at their parents. I don't want them to lose their relationship. Maybe someday their parents, will change their mind and not have that same attitude. But you know, anyway, I hope someday I'll get to see them. And I have another video I want to do because I don't want to make too long of a video, and I've already built a clock, as you guys know I can do. But I'm going to release another video in maybe a couple of weeks, and I think Well, some of you may not care about it, but I think everybody will because I'm gonna make an important announcement. One of the things I'm gonna actually do in it is explain uh, what had happened to my recently. I tried reaching out again to my son-in-law because I don't have my daughter's phone number, but I still have his phone number. And so I called him up and so sorry about that little glitch there, but it seemed like for some reason my computer shut down. But what I was saying was I called them up and uh, he answered, "Hello, this is Alan," and just I wanted to tell him something really brief. I said, "This, Alan, this is Randy," and click, he just hung up. Called back. One of the grandchildren's voice was on the outgoing message, saying, "You've got Alan's phone, leave your message." So anyway, I left him a brief message, and that's what I want to put in a video in my next video, what that message is. So if you guys want to hear that, just tune in for that when you see that one pop up. But there's also another announcement that I'll be making. It has nothing to do with the Watchtower organization. It just has to do with me, with my life, and uh, my plans and what I'll be doing. It'd be pretty brief actually. But anyway, that's all. And please leave comments again below as to what you've been doing in your life. And if you ever have opportunity, I'd love to meet y'all. Bye bye.